What's up? Bill McCleskey in the building with
my boy.
He said my boy.
Just be smooth. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie.
Yo, we got the hottest podcast in the nation. TechDontSleep.com. Follow us today.
Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Ain't no Chico. Just be smooth. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Ain't no Chico. Just be smooth.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tech Don't Sleep Podcast. It's your boy Bill McCleskey in the building. I'm here with Dawei Li. Yes, sir. Aloa. Right?
Yes.
That's it. Oh,
Aloa,
man.
Aloa, doesn't matter.
Aloa. Oh, man. Okay. Which is a cool tech company making some crazy things happen in the industry as it relates to building applications and helping companies build mobile and web applications to grow their business. So, man, you went to Vanderbilt University, but you're from Memphis.
Yep.
So we're gonna talk about
In China before that.
And,
So,
in China before that. Okay, so
Yeah.
so from over the Pacific Ocean,
Yeah.
all the way here to the U.S., man, and so I want to talk about that whole trek, man, that whole journey, and how you got to start your company with your friends at Vanderbilt. But before we do that, you know how we like to do it, y'all. I gotta tell you, make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Okay, subscribe, hit the like button, share this video, because we're in the business of helping entrepreneurs. We're in the business of adding value and giving tips, tricks, and insights to help businesses grow their company through technology. Now, Dawei, you know how we like to do, man. We always want to start off with a game. Okay. So this game is called Got 5 on it. All right. So we're gonna do this real quick, man. So you got 5 seconds to answer each question.
I thought it was 10.
Nah, I might give you like 3 seconds actually.
Okay.
5 seems a little long. All right. So, but they're real simple, man. All right. So let's start it off, man. Barbecue or hot chicken?
Barbecue.
All right.
Yeah.
Which song best describes you?
There's no choice.
No.
Oh man, come on.
Are you waiting for an option, right?
Probably. Oh man. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
Probably. You guys probably don't know this. Probably "How He Loves" by David Crowder.
Okay. I'm gonna go with it.
It's
How He Loves by David Crowder?
Yeah, it's a worship song.
Okay. I love it.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. Who's your favorite athlete?
Roger Federer.
Okay.
He's playing his quarterfinals at the Wimbledon match.
You play tennis, man?
I did.
Okay,
play tennis.
awesome.
I'm a tennis player.
Country or Americana?
Country.
Definitely,
Love
man.
country.
And we gotta talk about you. Okay, I'm not gonna go there yet because I gotta let the people know you are a country musical artist. All right? What's your favorite thing about the United States, man?
Man, the Constitution. I love freedom.
Okay.
I love the value that it embodies as a nation. I just love this country. I'm a huge patriot.
Gotcha. Love it, man. Instagram or Facebook?
I'm not on social media, but I had Instagram. That was my last social media app.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Laptop or a tablet?
Laptop.
3-6 Mafia or 8-Ball MJG?
I don't know the second one. 3-6 month.
You're from Memphis, right?
I'm from Memphis.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
from Memphis.
All right. This is an obvious, man. Well, I don't know. It might not be Memphis or Nashville.
Nashville, man.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. Because I know you're from Memphis.
I'm not going back to Memphis.
Garth Brooks or Kane Brown?
Garth Brooks, probably.
Okay. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Dinner.
All right. So, the Suns or the Bucks? Who you got?
Neither, but I'm probably for the Bucks this season.
Oh man, I feel sorry for you. All right. Are you a listener or a talker?
Listener.
Okay.
I like to listen.
Yeezys or Jordans?
I've never owned Yeezys, but I have owned Jordans. So Jordans.
All right. So introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
All right, cool. So we learned a little bit about you, man. It's I think that the most interesting thing from my perspective is that you are a country music artist, right?
A writer, not an artist. So in the music industry, there's different roles, right? There's the producer,
right.
There's the actual recording artist, and then there's singer-songwriters, which don't have their own brand or.
So you're a writer.
Yeah, so I write for my buddy Andre.
So you don't sing?
I do sing. So singer-songwriter, right? So in order for you to write, you have to like at least you can't be tone deaf. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to know how to sing, but like. Writers normally don't like perform shows. I mean, we might like perform at like right around
like a singer-songwriter night, right?
Singer-songwriter night, open mic, and stuff like that.
Because you just told me you got a gig tonight, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm playing downtown tonight. So I play with my buddy Andre sometimes, like a few times a year. He's an actual recording artist, so he actually plays shows.
Gotcha.
He has his own brand. He's an fully independent artist, so he's not signed to anyone.
But
I play with him sometimes.
But your thing is writing. You want to write. You want to get the publishing and.
Right. I don't want my name attached. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to.
Gotcha.
I don't want to have all that brand recognition.
I mean, you can be famous as a songwriter, though, man.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But they're more like people don't recognize you. I don't want people to be like, oh, hey, what's up?
Those are people with the money, though, right? Because
right.
It's all about publishing. All right, man.
Exactly.
That's super cool, man. So man, I really want to jump in, man, because I know that there's a lot to cover, like with you. And I got this cool article. I think this is an article we may have talked about before, but I think it's very relative to your company. And the title of the article is 10 Great Reasons to Build a Mobile App. Okay? Because I know for sure, like sometimes we get calls in My Tech Partners. Sometimes people call us and say, hey, do y'all build websites? Do y'all build apps and all this stuff? So people are always thinking about, like, should I build an app for my company, right? And so what's your response to that, though? Like if somebody says, should I build an app for my company, should every business have a mobile app?
Well, it depends on the business and the industry. So I think you have to first assess, like, why you need a mobile app or a web app, right? And there's a few answers to that. There's you want to streamline workflow, you want to make things more efficient, you want to automate things, you want to scale your operations, right? Or you want to just create a product that, you want to get out of the service industry, you want to create a product that's more scalable, that's going to take your business to the next level.
Yeah.
So it depends on, you have to really ask yourself that, like, there's a lot of businesses out there in the software development space that will just gladly take your money, right?
Yeah.
But like my core philosophy is like, I serve as the head of sales of Aloa, and as the head of sales, I train our sales team to, talk people out of spending money, right? You have to be the expert in the room, and you have to really be there to advise them and sort of guide them along the path of, like, do they need an app or not? Because,
so nobody should be getting an app just to be cool and say, hey,
just be cool, right? Because an app it's expensive to develop. A custom, fully blown, custom, full-scale application could cost, if you're outsourcing, it could cost 40, 50 grand. If you're using a domestic firm, easily over 6 figures, right? So that's a huge piece of investment that individual business owners have to assess and really decide whether that's a good investment for them.
Right.
Just as you would invest in Bitcoin or stocks or anything, real estate, anything else, like, you have to assess the value of the ROI of that app, right? If that app isn't giving you an ROI in terms of efficiency or automation or giving you actual dollars in the ROI, then, like, you can't just develop an app just to be cool, right?
Yeah, just to be cool.
So I think it's an investment analysis that needs to take place. But I would say that, a few years ago, or let's say 10 years ago, I think businesses could have gone by without having a website, right? But now every business has to get on Squarespace or Webflow or WordPress, and they have to have some sort of a landing page for their business.
Sure.
Because everyone goes to a website, right? So I think what we're entering into is the age of applications where, all businesses will eventually be tech enabled by some sort of a full-scale application. Now, it might not be an application that is custom developed. It could be a white label solution. Where you just pay monthly for that application. But regardless, you're being powered by full-scale applications for your business. I think most businesses are in some way, shape, or form powered by full-scale applications.
Yeah.
You know, if someone uses
like a CRM or
like CRM, Salesforce or HubSpot,
Yeah.
or you're using a Mailchimp. That's a or if you're just using like Excel, right, or something like
Wow.
that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a piece of, that's not like necessarily like a web app, but that's still like a piece of software that's empowering your business. Yeah, exactly. Gmail and all that stuff. But but eventually, I think we're trending towards a future where, people will have more customized, applications for their business. So
because back in the day, like websites were super expensive, like just a simple website, right?
That's right.
And to have a website, it was like crazy, like who builds a website? And nobody knew how to build you had to find somebody who could build you a website, and just a simple website may cost a few $1,000s. But now you go to Squarespace or Weebly or Wix or whatever and do it yourself and pay $200 a year. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
So is that the trend? Is that what you think? Because there's this trend of no code as well. So is that what's happening?
No code like Bubble or Glide?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think here's what I think. I think there's always going to be tech startups that are looking to innovate and disrupt industries. Those people will always, their whole business is centered around their product, their application, right? So those people will always develop applications that will sort of solve some type of problem in the marketplace. Automate some type of problem, right? So those people will always have the need to develop apps. Now, if we're talking about like small businesses and medium-sized businesses, enterprise level businesses, I think enterprise and medium-sized businesses have the capital to develop custom applications, mobile apps, web apps. I think small businesses that are doing, let's say, like under $1 million a year, I think what they will eventually do is they will start adopting full-scale applications as white label or something like that the tech startups produce. So does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's already happening. I mean,
that's already happening.
I know, like even in our company at MyTech, we're a big Zoho shop, right? So we use Zoho CRM and their whole like desk or help desk platform, and even some of their social tools, just to create efficiency in the business.
That's right.
So I think you're right. Like companies are going to create, these big tech startups are going to create these white label enabled applications for smaller businesses to adopt, and it's affordable. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So I mean, the smaller businesses, I wouldn't recommend them to develop their own custom application for however much, unless they have plans to, flip the switch and go into product and actually monetize that application.
Product development and all that.
Eventually sell the application to some bigger company. Have an exit plan. You shouldn't just develop an application just for the sake of saying that you have your own app, because there's many white label solutions out there and no-code solutions out there that's tremendously cheaper, right?
So that's interesting, and we'll get into the conversation about like what your company does, Aloa does with its customers, and how you guys kind of navigate that for a certain objective. But let's back up a little bit and talk about you being from China. So were you born in China?
I was. I lived there for 8 years, the first 8 years of my life.
Okay.
So I still speak fluent Mandarin. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So
came here fresh off the boat, didn't know a single word of English.
You came here at 8 years old.
8 years old, didn't know how to read or write or.
You didn't know how to read or write English.
Or speak it.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know a single word, and we took English class a little bit in China, but they don't teach you how to say full sentences when you're in like kindergarten, first grade, right? They teach you certain words, like we learned about some names of animals and stuff.
Sure,
and that's what I remember.
Just trying to grow the vocabulary, basically.
Right, but when you come here, that's pretty much useless because you can't talk to people.
Yeah.
So I knew how to say like how are you and other stuff, but like
So why did you come over with your whole family?
So the story, my dad came here first, and he went to Baylor University to study to get a business master's in business. And my mom came here with him. So my mom's parents actually raised me in China for about 2 or 3 years while they were studying here. And then my dad knew a professor who had a relative in Memphis who was working for this company called Shelby Systems. It's like a small little IT company. And my dad studied, he got a master's in IT. And they moved to Memphis from Waco. Waco, Texas.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, small town Waco, Texas.
Yeah,
They moved to
yeah.
Memphis. Drove there in 1989, like beat up Camry, like AC was off.
Windows rolled down. Like,
Right, and the story is my parents were driving and the AC, something went wrong, and like the whole windshield was like misted the whole time. So my mom was literally wiping down the windshield the whole way
from Waco to Memphis.
from Waco to Memphis. Yeah, so they got to Memphis and and then they got an apartment there, and then I think a year later I got my grandparents brought me to the States to live with my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have any siblings?
I know, I'm the only child.
Okay, got you.
I'm product of China's one-child policy. No, really though.
Is that a real thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was a thing. So from 1980s till I think 2017 was one-child policy. Now it's the two-child policy.
And is that because the population is just so?
They just wanted
huge?
population control.
Wow.
Yeah, but
So what happens if like you have a second child though? Like back when
I mean,
one-child policy?
you can have more kids. It's like, but you just have to pay a fine, like taxes for it.
Okay. Wow, that's deep.
Pretty hefty taxes.
Yeah.
So now you can have two child.
Two children, yeah.
And then two children.
No, it's the same language, man.
And then right, exactly. No, for real. And then so anything above two children, you have to pay taxes for it. So
Wow, that's deep.
So it's pretty crazy. So,
I wasn't sure if that was like a real thing, but I mean,
for sure. Yeah, for sure it is. Yeah. So it created a whole generation of just one child family.
Yeah, man.
So I was part of that. I was right in the middle of that.
So do you know like what made your parents want to actually come to the U.S. to go to school?
Just more opportunities, man. I'll give you a quick idea of how much they made back in communist China, man. This is back when China was a third world country. Okay, we were dirt poor. My parents were, they came here when they were 30 to go to school, and from age 22 to 30, my mom made as much in a month as I do in 1 hour.
Wow.
That's how much money she made in 1 month. We weren't
What
like
kind of work
homeless.
did she do?
She did like global trade or something like that.
Okay.
My dad was like a interpreter, so he already knew English. He majored in English back in college and stuff. So they came here for just a better life, just more opportunity. For the state. So I think I'm an entrepreneur, but I think what they did was very entrepreneurial. To just take all that risk. My dad came here with nothing except one suitcase and a cardboard box of some books and stuff that he bought. Barely any money, and my mom waited tables back in Waco and in Memphis. I mean, their definition of that kind of coming to the States, having nothing, and achieving the American dream. Now they got 11 rental properties. They got very stable jobs at the largest med device company in the world, Medtronic. So I'm standing on the shoulder of giants to do what I'm doing.
That's a great point, man, because I was having a conversation yesterday with one of the local Chamber of Commerce organizations, and she was asking me, how do people go from employee to entrepreneur? And I was telling her, I have this theory that like everybody's an entrepreneur, in some way, right?
Right.
And your company's called You Incorporated, right?
Okay.
And how you navigate your life is like your journey, your entrepreneurial journey. Like, so your parents come into like this new land, right? This new culture, and having to navigate that is very, like you said, it's very entrepreneurial. You got to figure out, you got to be resourceful.
Yeah. A lot of risk.
Yeah, a lot of risk. Your goal is to, kind of circumvent all the challenges or whatever and reach your goal, whether that's to get a degree, get a job, live the American dream and become real estate investors. And,
that's right.
And provide opportunities for you, man. So that's awesome, dude.
That's right.
So you ended up coming here at about 8 years old. You learned English.
Right, I learned English.
When you first started school, like, did you go straight to school? Like
straight to school, man.
Wow.
I'll tell you this one story. I remember the first day of school, second grade. It was I can't pinpoint a specific date, but it was August of 2002, second grade. Didn't know a single word of English. My parents dropped me off. They talked to the teacher. I didn't understand what they were saying. And they just I saw them go down the hall. And they went to work.
They're like, we out, please.
And I realized, man, I'm alone, man. Like I don't know, like no one in the school speaks Chinese. Like,
but did they talk to you like, hey, listen, this is gonna be tough. Nobody speaks. You're gonna have to just rough it out.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really say that, but like they just like kind of
sink or swim.
Yeah, sink or swim, right? And the teacher gave me an assignment, or gave us an assignment or something, and I kid you not, I literally did not know how to write my name in English, so I had to like look on my pencil box and be like, oh, I went by David at that time, not Dawei, but it was David Li, and I had to write my Americanized name on that. But it's pretty crazy.
Wow. Yeah. How long was it before you became kind of fluent in English?
Probably like 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
I watched a lot of American movies. Like,
okay.
I was probably too young to watch it, but I love Independence Day.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
Love watching Shrek, and I just kept watching those movies again. And
so
again.
watching movies helped you become fluent?
Yeah. Okay. I just started picking up.
So it wasn't like conversation,
including the curse words and stuff. Like I just picked up everything. Like,
you go to school and be like, hey, wow.
right. Yeah.
Your teacher's like, David.
right, exactly.
You can probably get away with a lot of stuff. You know, it's like, hey, I'm learning here.
So my grandma and my grandfather, like when they came here to the States with me, like this is a pretty emotional story, so I get emotional talking about this every time. But like my grandma, who my mom's mom, my maternal grandmother, who took care of me and helped raise me, and they were the ones who brought me to the States. And I kid you not, like when we're flying over we were gonna fly to San Francisco because their son, my uncle, lives in San Francisco. I was asleep and my grandma was awake, and she wept like on the plane, like just thinking about like
flying over.
Yeah, just thinking about like she was like, what am I doing? Just bringing this kid and just taking him out. He just had so many friends, so many opportunities in China. And he just, and I'm bringing him to a place where he doesn't know how to speak the language, doesn't know the culture. Yeah. Like, what am I doing? So she knew what I was gonna go through. Yeah. I went through bullying. I went through everything. Yeah. I got made fun of for the way I looked, for the way I talked, for everything. And she knew. She foresaw all that, and she pretty much raised me. And it really like pained her to think about what I was about to go through here in the States. So that always motivates me whenever I feel like I'm not I don't feel like getting out of bed or something like that. That always motivates me. Is like, man, I'm like she didn't shed those tears in vain. I want to make something out of that. Right?
Well, entrepreneurs always have to have a why. So I'm taking like from you that's one of your.
Yeah, well, my biggest why is serving God and being a Christ follower and really honoring and bringing glory to the Lord with what He has given me, the skills that He's given me. But one of the underlining motivations, because if that is my pure motivation, I mean, I'll live for the rest of my life just trying to win people over and win people's approval and stuff like that.
Sure.
But that's one of my secondary or tertiary motivations.
I gotta ask you a question, man, because you're a believer, and you're not shy about that.
I'm not shy about that,
and I appreciate that. So were you raised as a Christian, as a believer? Or were your parents believers in China when they came? I mean,
I wasn't. So I'm the only believer in my whole extended family.
So this was a conversion of some sort, like Paul on the road to Damascus.
Like literally a Saul to Paul conversion. Like in college, I mean, in high school, I got myself in I'm not sure if I told you this, but it just got myself in a lot of trouble. Like got caught cheating in AP Computer Science class. Now I'm running a tech company. It's like super ironic, right? And they found out that I wrote my friend's paper for money. They found out that I had a test bank on my phone. And they almost expelled me from high school. So that was on my record when I applied to colleges. I was a huge pothead, loved smoking weed. Yeah. In high school? Got into drinking and stuff. Almost got a DUI.
Were you just hanging out with the wrong folks, or was it?
Hanging out with the wrong folks, man.
Okay,
just it's just, Memphis public. I went to inner city Memphis public high schools like my whole life.
Yeah, where'd you go to high school in Memphis?
White Station.
Okay.
White Station High School. So yeah, I almost got arrested for DUI, drug possession.
Shout out to White Station. I know.
Shout out to White Station.
He's the product of a success product of White Station. We're not trying to dog out White Station.
Right, for sure. And I almost got. If I had gotten arrested for driving under the influence or drug possession, I would have gotten deported because I wasn't an American.
Wow.
I wasn't naturalized back then.
Okay.
So I had my green card, but I wasn't naturalized.
Yeah.
Back then. And I came to college and just wanted to be a pre-med, go to med school, party, get late, just all the college stuff, right? And then just God just came in and wrecked all those plans and was like, you're not going to go to med school. I want you to, you're going to change your major to economics and you're going to pursue a business track.
Was this like a revelation, or did you go through something that like?
It was building up to. I mean, it was multiple people leading me to Christ, bringing me back to
at Vanderbilt.
At Vanderbilt, right?
Okay.
And bringing me back to a Christian fellowship on campus. Eventually, brought me back to a church that I still go to now. So I've been going there for about 7.5 years. And then I went through a quarter college crisis, like I mentioned, where I realized that med school wasn't what I wanted, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and had to really rely on God for that seed. So at the beginning of sophomore year was when that was a turning point where I was like, man, I like whatever you had for me that freshman year, I was like, I want more of that. I want more of your intimacy and your grace and your love, and didn't know how he was going to give that to me. And then that was when it was September 14th of 2014 where I just kind of received this revelation, conviction, whatever you want to call it, from the Holy Spirit, and just God calling me to leave all of the life that I was living behind. Because at this point I was still living a double life. I was still partying, I was still drinking, I was still doing all that stuff, doing all the crazy stuff. And,
because Vandy's a party school.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. Work hard, play hard. And all of my friends did that stuff. So I went through that, literally that Saul to Paul conversion, and all my friends were like, what? So I spent the rest of my 3 years, evangelizing it and sharing that same story, that testimony to over 200 students on Vandy's campus. Met my co-founders at Vandy, and we started several startups before we started Aloa back when I graduated. So so crazy like turn of events.
It is a crazy turn of events, man. I mean, it's your story. You know what I mean? It's your journey. And it's a great story, man. So I encourage you to keep sharing it, because people need to hear it. And people I think, will be encouraged by it and inspired by it too, man.
Appreciate it.
So,
hey, it's God's story, man. It's not mine.
Yeah, no. Well,
he's writing everything for me. So.
I love it. But, in country music.
Yeah. And that too. It comes out in the lyrics sometimes.
Yeah. I'm sure it does. Well, listen, man. So let's talk about like how you guys started Aloa, or you said you met your co-founders at Vandy.
My co-founders.
And you guys started some other businesses before. So
some other startups.
Talk me through what you guys started. What happened, and then how you got to Aloa.
Yeah. So it all started back in spring of 2015. So I met my co-founder Christian. He's the CEO of Aloa now. And he was a freshman then. He was 18 years old. I was 19. We're all just super hungry, like college students, just wanted to, do something entrepreneurial. And I didn't even know I had it in me, to be honest, because I think as a kid I always wanted to do something big and change the world. But people laugh it off when you're a kid.
Sure.
People ask you what you want to be, and you're like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a startup. I want to change the world, right? And people don't really take you seriously. So that's why I ended up being pre-med at the beginning of college, because the childhood passion and that dream was snuffed out. And it was like, hey, you should pursue something safe, be an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer. As an Asian American, you only be like one of 5 things, right? You don't really have much of a choice. You know what I mean? So no Asian parent's gonna tell their child, you can be an entrepreneur, you can do it, you can be an entrepreneur. Hell no.
Because I see a big entrepreneurial community in the Asian community. A lot of entrepreneurs in the Asian community.
Really?
Yeah.
In the States or in China?
In the States.
In the States?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Especially
in our business, we do a lot of hotel business or business with hotels, so hotel owners.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's
dry cleaners and
there
stereotype.
There might be business. There might be business owners at restaurants or nail shops. Again, stereotype. Okay. But to take a risk as a tech entrepreneur, that's your parents you should go just get a job. You'll be a doctor or something.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's harder to be a tech entrepreneur than it is to be a doctor.
Yeah, right. So, so I met my buddy Christian, and I remember I already knew him because Asian American circles. He's Filipino.
Okay.
And so we were in several clubs together and stuff. So I knew him in passing, but I didn't know him that well. So I didn't know what he was working on. So I walked past him in the cafeteria one day. It was back in March of 2015. And I was about to we were both about to interview for tour guides. Tour guides. And I sat down. I was like, I got a few more minutes. I was like, I see Christian here. I'm gonna sit down with him.
Yeah.
And I asked him. I was like, we started talking about like studying abroad or something like that. And I was like, hey man, you plan to study abroad next year or like anytime during your time here? Because I'm thinking about going to Copenhagen, like doing this program. He's like, no, I'm working on this startup company. Like, I think I need to stay here and like do that. I was like, this guy's 18. What could he be possibly working on, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. Well, like, can you show me what you're working on? Like, I'd love to see. And he was like working on his laptop.
Yeah.
Right there, and he turned his laptop around and just pretty much gave me the elevator pitch of what he was working on. So it was an app called Nibble. It was a food tech app, and we ended up. Long story short, I ended up joining the team, and we ended up working on that app as our first sort of startup venture. It was a food tech app that tried to revolutionize the nature of food review by making it more fun and engaging for users. So the whole idea was, on Yelp there's 5% of reviewers, whereas 95% of the users are viewers, not reviewers, right?
Okay.
So you want to flip that statistic and get people to make more reviews by making it more fun and engaging through emojis, through photos, through whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, so that was like the first concept, and then there were a few other concepts. Like it was a concept called Party Wolf that we started. That was like an app that sort of told students what events there were going on campus and in the city around them. And then there was another concept called Click that was kind of group Snapchat before group Snapchat was a thing.
Yeah.
And then we pivoted into the software development space back in 2016. So I was a rising senior, and then they were rising juniors, and then we just saw this huge need where entrepreneurs had great ideas and they had no idea how to pursue those ideas, no idea how to get started, find the right development team, vet those development team, manage that development team, right? So we made it our mission to create a future where anyone can innovate freely, and we saw software development as a huge barrier to that innovation.
Sure.
So all the pain points that I just mentioned are huge barriers to entrepreneurs and tech entrepreneurs trying to create products that would disrupt the industry, right? So how do we create a world where anyone can innovate freely? We have to make software development more accessible and easy for everyone in the world, not just people that have $1 million, but to someone that has $50,000 or $10,000, right? So we set out to sort of crack that code and really,
And that's how the present company was born, right?
Eventually, so we tried out many different models before we stumbled upon what we're doing now with a highly vetted partner network, our platform, and our process and audits. So the 3 P's of Aloa that people know now as our unique value propositions. But back then it was we tried out many different models that didn't work. So the first model that we did was using college-based freelancers. That was a terrible idea. And then
because they're trying to party and
right. I mean, they had classes and other stuff that they were involved with, so they couldn't meet deadlines. They were bad at managing time. And then we tried like U.S.-based agencies. Right, they were too expensive. That didn't align with our mission. And then we tried out using U.S.-based freelancers. They were better than college students, but we experienced pain points.
Still too expensive, or
they're pretty expensive as well. But they also juggle multiple projects. They were just completely. I mean, they're freelancers, right? So they don't want to obey a certain schedule. They don't want to be told what to do, right? So hard to manage, hard to get a hold of. So back in 2017, I decided to jump into full time. When I graduated from college, I couldn't find a job, right? I moved back to Nashville, living paycheck to paycheck. I was driving Lyft. While all of my now college alums and colleagues were going to med school and law school and working for big companies. I was here driving taxi in Nashville, driving around drunk people.
How many hours a day were you doing that?
8 to 10 hours.
I was
on
a full-time gig.
It's a full-time gig. I did over 2,000 rides in Nashville. And just trying to pay for rent, and again, decided to just, God just gave me a revelation one day to jump into it full time and just pursue it full time. It's back in end of 2017, and back in the beginning of 2018, we made a final pivot into what we're doing today. And we were pretty much on the verge of giving up on the company. We almost, before I jumped into it full time, we almost liquidated a little bit amount that we had saved in the bank. As students, we didn't really pay ourselves. There was one amount we had in the bank. A day before I decided to jump into full time, and my buddy Christian calls me up, and he was like, "Hey, everyone else, all the departments want to liquidate, like, you know." Well, actually, he didn't actually tell me, like, the actual liquidation story until like months later, but he wanted to call me up to get my opinion on liquidation, and I ended up telling him that I wanted to do it full time. So just kind of
and he was like,
reinvest.
"Okay, cool. You want to commit to this?"
He was like, "If you want to commit to this, we have about 6 month runway. Let's give it a shot." And like, worst case, we burn through all the cash. Best case, we actually make something out of it. So we ended up pushing forward, and you know, we reinvested. So we're still fully bootstrapped. So we bootstrapped that 15 grand in the bank into a 7-figure company. So
nice.
So
what? How much was in the account before you guys when you made that commitment? Like when Christian called, it was.
I think we had around 15,000. Like we would have each walked away with like $4 grand, in which to them they were still in college. That sounded good to them. They were all going to Google and Amazon, and Christian was like, Dawei doesn't have a job, so like
he uses this money too.
He can use this money too, and he's like, we'll start something later, guys. Like we're like,
because y'all had started previous companies anyway. So.
And there's a lot of trust between us. They're like, we'll start something later, like later in life, right? And it's like, let's call it a day. We're not going to make anything out of this. And then, because he didn't know that I had that revelation, and he ended up calling me, and I was like, I got something.
Well, what I heard was y'all turned 15,000 into a 7-figure business, though.
Into a 7-figure business. It is today. So
it
took some years. It took about 3.5 years. But,
it took 3.5 years. I mean, that's pretty.
We passed 7 figures last year during COVID.
Nice.
So that was a huge milestone. So we passed $1 million last year, and then we're projecting about $3 million this year in revenue.
Nice.
3.5 million.
So the model now give me the 3 P's again.
So partner network, platform, and process and audits. So so let me go into that a little bit further. So again, our mission is to help build a future where anyone can innovate freely. In order to do that, we have to make software development as accessible and easy as possible for everyone in the world, right? Small businesses, startups, not just big businesses. So we do that through the 3 Ps. So the first part is the partner network, where we connect people to a pre-vetted pool of highly qualified software development firms overseas, in South America, India, Eastern Europe. So we vetted over 8,000 firms overseas. We only have 10 global partners in our partner network, with about 1,000 developers in the network. So we connect people to a highly vetted team.
So you guys don't actually do the programming or building yourself.
You
vetted these teams, and then you connect
them
with a team or a company that may have synergy or expertise in a certain.
We used to do it ourselves, way back in college. We had to find a scalable solution. As my CEO Christian has once told me, he quoted the Drake line. I'm not sure what song this is from, but he said, Drake once said in the song, he said, "I used to be on that rap and pay my bill shit, but now I'm on that rappers pay my bill shit." So,
I love it.
So the whole concept is like, we don't want to get paid to do the work. We want to pay others to do the work.
To get it done, because it's scalable. That's how you create it.
Scalable. Right? So the partner network is number one. Second is a platform. So our platform has a project management tool and a payment tool that facilitates and streamlines the process of interacting with these firms. So dealing with international payments, dealing with all project management, outsourcing project management through our platform. All projects that's run through Aloa has to use our project management tool. So we standardize the workflow, so that we control the variable of the partner of the software development firm that you're working with, as well as the workflow that you're working with.
So everybody uses that platform,
And
you guys built that, right?
And we built that, right? And the last part is we need to control the process and create an auditing process to be able to hold the partner firms accountable to best development practices. Now, the thing in the software development space is there's no global standard for best software development practices. So our founders come from Amazon and Google, and they work on the software teams there. So we've gotten the best development processes from Fortune 10 companies, and sort of like adapted those development processes to hold our software development firms overseas accountable to best development practices. So
how many projects are you guys working on, like currently, for example?
At any given time, there's probably 30 or 40 projects actively running through our platform. Yeah. Some aren't projects, some are more staffing-based engagements. So some are startups that are hiring, anywhere between like 1 to 3 to 5 developers staffed, right? So those aren't projects. These are ongoing sort of work where they work with a CTO or a chief product officer. But the ones that are more project-based are fixed cost, project-based, milestone-based projects, right? So.
Yeah, I love it, man. I mean,
man.
You got it down, bro. I mean, you got it down. You got. So how big is the team now?
Now it's still pretty small. So we got there's 5 full-time people. There's one. So our CTO Reese is still at Amazon right now. So the core team is 6 people, and we have 4 interns right now. Five interns right now. Okay. So we do a pretty big internship program every semester with students from all over the United States, pretty much. So there's
what are the interns doing?
So there's so there's different internship programs. There's a computer science internship program, marketing internship program, data analytics internship program. So those are the 3 most common ones. The marketing internship program is the biggest one. So every semester we have around at least 2 interns doing marketing.
Yeah, gotcha. And is that how you generate like new business through the marketing initiative?
Yeah,
or marketing interns?
Well, there's different sides of marketing, right? There's Google Ads that we run. But the marketing interns are mainly in charge of like social media marketing. Okay. Our blogging. Blogging, our mailing list, SEO, all that stuff. So they're more in charge of sort of the organic type of marketing rather than the paid ads. We have like a marketing partner that runs our paid ads.
Gotcha. So an expert doing the paid ads.
An expert, exactly.
So what's the game? Have you guys talked about an exit strategy for the company, or do you have an idea where you want to head?
Yeah, we haven't yet. We're still young. We're 3 years into the business. Yeah. We're launching our first SaaS vertical called Aloa Pay. It's kind of like a Venmo for B2B transaction. So we got a lot of signed up, beta users for that. So that's coming later this summer. And eventually our project management tool will be a SaaSified tool as well. And right now, I talked about the audits. A lot of that was done manually by our tech leads. Every 2 weeks, it took them, combined probably over 20 hours to audit all active projects in terms of how are they performing technically and behaviorally on our project management platform. So right now we're working on automation of that audit, which is really cool. So we're pulling from code repositories like Bitbucket, GitLab, and GitHub, pulling that data. And because all projects are run through our platform, we're pulling all the platform data and we're sort of parsing and analyzing that data. And eventually we're creating a full-blown dashboard to where it can show the team lead or the tech lead the actual project health score, anything that they should be looking out for. And then eventually we can add some sort of a predictive analytics, AI, sentiment analysis to that type of data to be able to warn clients about certain things that could be fires coming in. Because eventually we want to be the outsourcing platform for software development, period. And eventually the outsourcing platform for any high-skilled labor outside of software development, right? We're talking about like other areas like accounting, legal, digital marketing. There's other industries, I believe, that need our solution. So I think eventually we do have a vision of just transforming the way in which businesses interact with businesses, whether it's outsourcing, management, paying, audit. So sort of one place, one platform.
You guys are just getting started then.
What's that?
Y'all are just getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting started. Christian, he wants to do this. I mean, he loves what he does, and we all love what we do. I don't see myself doing this like forever, but he sees himself doing it forever. So he has like a literal like 50, 70 year vision for Aloa. Like he wants to keep growing it and keep making an impact. And I think that's where we're at. Right now we don't really have an exit strategy or anything.
Just having fun.
Just having fun. I mean, we're serving people, we're providing value, and my life mission is to be the wind in the sails of other people, to hold people up so that my ceiling can be their floor. That's what I'm about.
Oh my goodness, man. And you are a writer. That was pretty smooth.
I appreciate it, man. And I get to live out that mission and that dream every single day because I serve entrepreneurs and I get to be the wind in their sails to help them achieve their literal dream of what they want to do. So I'm happy where I am.
It's very fulfilling.
Exactly. So I'm happy where I am. I can see myself doing it for as long as I can.
No, that's a hey, bro. You drop some bars on us, man. So, I love it, man. So do this. Let's do this while we wrap up right quick. Tell us where if somebody wants to reach out to you guys, where should they reach out? The website or social media or?
Yeah, they can reach out to us on our site. So our website is aloa.co. It's ALOA.co.
Okay.
There's forms on the website where you can fill out and someone will be in touch with you.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. There's a chat bot on there if you want to chat with
Okay.
with our guy Brian. He's always answering different messages on the website. So we have a lot of people trolling us on that on the little chat bot. So that's how people can reach us. But
Gotcha.
You can also reach us through Twitter or Instagram or whatever.
Okay. What's the handle? Is it Aloa Page or is it just?
I think the Twitter handle is. I'm not on Twitter.
It's Aloa Page, I think.
I think the Twitter handle is Aloa Labs or Aloa.
Oh, is it?
It's either Aloa Labs or Aloa Co. I'm terrible at this.
Oh, okay.
It's ALOACO.
Well, just go to the website then.
The best place is the best place is the website.
Okay, perfect, man. I appreciate you coming in, man. I appreciate the conversation. I got a gift for you.
Cool.
I got something for you, man.
I always love gifts. So.
No question. The Tech Don't Sleep T-shirt, man.
Awesome.
I always tell people, man.
I love black. I love wearing black. So.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
All right,
so this is great. I love this.
What size you wear? Medium?
Medium, small, and depends on the brand.
It's medium?
Yeah, medium too.
All right, cool, man. There you go.
All right.
So, man, as I tell everybody, man, don't wear it at the bed, man. You gotta wear that out. You know what I'm saying? So people
don't wear it. Okay.
Yeah. Don't just.
It is comfy enough to wear it.
I'm cutting the grass. You know, you gotta wear that when you go to the grocery store or something.
Right,
you know?
right.
So people
maybe
say,
when I play in my show tonight.
Hey, no doubt.
Yeah,
no question.
TechDontSleep, right?
Yeah, make it happen, man.
Man, this is cool.
No,
appreciate it, brother.
Are you good,
This
man?
is awesome.
All right, so we're gonna close it out with a quick commercial. Thank you so much to. I just want to highlight actually one of our sponsors. To the podcast. One of our events coming up is the podcast launch. So that's August 27th. It's a Friday, August 27th. Man, you gotta come out. It's gonna be.
Is it gonna be here?
It's gonna be here in the event.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
But Wow Cable actually just committed to becoming a sponsor of that event and the podcast. So thank you, Wow Cable. Wow is a cable company that a lot of people have actually never heard of. Because its footprint is in a lot of sporadic areas throughout the U.S., but they're real heavy in Huntsville, Alabama, in like Charleston, South Carolina, and in Knoxville, Tennessee, or a lot of areas throughout the U.S. But thank you, Wow Cable. They're going to be present here at the event August 27th. So we appreciate you sponsoring the podcast and sponsoring the launch event. Hey, if you're not following us on social media, make sure you do that at Tech Don't Sleep. All of the handles are Tech Don't Sleep. And if you're watching this on YouTube, as I said before, please subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you. Share and comment and reach out to us. Appreciate you again, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, y'all.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. Peace, y'all.
Peace.